Hello, welcome to another episode of Fighting the Void. Ginger here again, and I am joined once again with my lovely co-host Crystal. And I gotta stop that because it always happens. And today we are joined by Cyn Champlin to talk about her latest endeavor, a social commerce platform called Wandering Icon. And it's you know what, Cyn? I'm just going to let you explain it. We're just going to get right into it here.
Okay, so Wandering Icon is a new type of social media that allows for everyone to have a profile on the site, but for creators to be able to sell merchandise, movies, music, pretty much anything that they create and make directly to their audiences. And so it's mixing together all the best aspects of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Vimeo, all of these different things, and putting them into one central location so that a community has access to everything that a creator does, but they don't necessarily have to be there for a creator. They can be there just like on Twitter, where anyone can have a profile, anyone can have a say on anything. The biggest difference between us and Twitter is that our content that we're selling through the creators that are going to be on the platform is our product. We're not selling our users to marketing companies, meaning that if somebody's upset because somebody has a profile on our platform, they can't attack our advertisers because our
platform. Okay, there it is.
So, yeah.
You froze up for half a second there.
So
but I think you were just saying, you were just saying that you're not selling all of your users' data.
Correct.
And so, a lot of the revenue and everything is largely going to come from people selling their own products.
So exactly. So a lot of when it comes to like Facebook and YouTube and other things like that, their product isn't their content. Their product are their users, and they're selling their users to marketers. Because of the way that we're doing marketing on our platform, you can't market anything or promote anything that's not for sale on our platform. And so anyone who wants to come onto our platform, like let's just say Alex Jones wanted to have an account on the platform, we wouldn't care as long as he doesn't break our terms and conditions. Like that's the biggest thing for us, is making sure that you don't threaten anyone. No threats of violence, no threats of doxing, no kind of harassment, and making sure that people have like an ability to feel safe on their platform or on our platform, but everyone's invited, and making sure that like people who are not necessarily going to like the platform because we're going to have certain users on there and we're going to allow for certain people to be on there, they're not going to be able to go after our advertisers because that's not where our money's coming from. If Alex Jones is bringing in money, we don't care what other people say because that's where our income is coming from. So.
Well, perfect.
I mean,
right there, it sounds like at the very least you're starting off with, hey, you know what? We all know, basically everyone that isn't to the left of Hillary Clinton knows that social media sucks for everybody to the right of Hillary Clinton. And even though the number of outright bans is relatively small, like thou shalt never be on our platforms, that sort of thing. Right now, that still the numbers are fairly small. But we all know, we've all seen the shadow banning, the de-threading, the spurious suspensions, the spurious, yes, your account is, that account is banned, but they'll let you kind of slide in on another one. And we've all seen that. We've all seen the tweets not loading, all of that for a vast number of people. I've seen it happen with people who have as few as like 200 followers.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous. And of course we know that that their terms of service are vague at best. Uneven also, and at the very least, very unevenly enforced.
Yeah.
I think all you really need to do right now is just not to go off on a huge tangent, but the stuff going on with like Matt Walsh right now. He's, because of his advocacy in the on his pro-life position, he's getting death threats of rape and everything directed at his wife and kids. And yeah, I mean, and people feel like they can do this with immunity there.
Yeah. And I mean, like, and I've had it happen to me. I made a tweet that certain people didn't like. One guy ended up, I think his name was like Donut Operator or something like that, who has like 500,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Donut Operator.
Made a video. I couldn't tweet it, but not just. Did I freeze up again? No, I think we're good.
A little bit.
Sorry, my connection might not be the greatest
That's
right
okay.
now. So he included not just my tweet, but my entire profile on his video. I got death threats. I got tweets saying, "I wish I could stab you in the face. I wish I could find out who you are." I've got voicemails from people that were like, "I know where you live. This is your address. This is where your son goes to school. This is like," and yeah, like it got intense for a bit. And so like I deactivated, called up my private eye, and like he investigated everything, found out who the people were. They ended up like getting arrested and like all of that stuff.
Oh, damn.
Oh wow.
Which,
well, good for you, for one.
Yeah, because like, and I've had it happen to me in the past. Like I've been doxxed before in the past, so like I knew how to go about it. Because if you go to the police, they're not going to do anything about it. They're going to be like, "This is stupid internet stuff, whatever." But it's like when somebody is literally calling you up and saying, "This is your address. Your child goes to school here," and nobody on social media at that point even knew that I had a kid. So it was kind of like this "oh crap" moment.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's scary right there.
And it's like I contacted Twitter about it. The people who sent me death threats and saying that they wish they could stab me in the face, their tweets got deleted for harmful content and nothing else happened to them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and so it's just like it's things like that where like we're kind of building our terms of service out of. It's just like we're taking these real situations of like things that have either happened to me or happened to people that I know, where like if prime example, if you block someone, that person will not be able to at your handle anymore. So they can't tag you in certain posts and continue that harassment after you block them. And so that's something that like we wanted to incorporate, because I know people like, I mean, Red when she was dealing with someone on Twitter, they kept adding her and tagging her in their posts, and she kept getting the notifications for it even after she blocked them.
Oh yeah.
And so it's situations like that where it's just like that's ongoing harassment, and Twitter wasn't doing anything about it. And so we know that there's ways that we can prevent that from happening in the future and prevent from other instances of that continuing forward, because it's not okay to harass people. Like the internet, at the end of the day, all of that it is thoughts and ideas. You're thinking something, you're tweeting it out, you take a picture of something you think is cool, like that's your opinion, whatever. And for anyone to like send you a death threat or harass you for weeks on end, it's ridiculous, and it shouldn't be tolerated at all on the platform. And to me, at least from my personal opinion, anyone who is verified or anyone who is a creator on the platform should be held to a higher standard than people who aren't, because you're supposed to be leading as an example, in my personal opinion. And so they will be looked at with more scrutiny, because at the end of the day, we're helping them with their livelihood, be taking advantage of that situation and like doing things where it's like they're like, "Oh well, I want the names of these children." No, these are children. You shouldn't be wanting the names of them.
No, you
leave
should
them the hell alone. Yeah. And so that's kind of like we're building on things from there.
Gotcha.
I actually like that, because I have not dealt with anything anywhere near the extent of what you've dealt with, thank God, and I'm really happy that you were able to get that sorted out, because that's awful. But I've had my fair share of people trying to spread or I don't know if full on smear, but that's the best way I can describe it. Kind of like smear my name.
Yeah.
And the way it happened was they blocked me, but they tagged me in a tweet saying I was implying I was a certain way. And I had no idea this was happening except for the fact I had notifications of people replying to a tweet I couldn't see. And like the responses were like, one response was like, "Oh, I'm not surprised. I had my suspicions." And another response was like, "Wait, what? What's going on?" And I had to, I think I ended up going to a friend, but if I didn't go to a friend, I would have to like log out and then go and search and figure out what people were responding to that was talking about me and making me out to be a bad person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, what? and it's a crappy thing. And a question I do have too, because I know you said once they block the person, they can't tag them. But what about, because as it is on Twitter right now, if you block a person, you still have the option of, yeah, you block them, but you can still view their tweets. And because of that, and because of what this one person did and how people can be, my mom was like nervous about people who do that, so she has me block them back, and I've kind of gotten into the habit of that. So that way, okay, they have the ability to view my tweets. I don't want any more bad stuff to come, so I'm gonna block them back so they can't view me unless they log out. So I'm kind of curious how you would handle that. It will be this, like the handle thing, you can't view either, or
Right. And so I think that, yeah, because I mean, from my perspective, you can't have best of both worlds in that scenario. If you want to block someone, you shouldn't, like, you're done with them. You shouldn't be able to look back at them for really kind of any reason, unless like you open a new account and like look at them through that way, whatever. Which I think that because of the way that our platform will be set up, there will be less of a need to have alt accounts, hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't know 100% for sure, but I'm assuming that just because like with our system and the way that we have it set up is that every single account is going to be like tailor-made, and so you're not going to have like the need for that. But yeah, so if you block someone, you're basically done with them. That means that you don't want to see any of their content. You're not going to be able to see any of their content. Even if somebody else retweets them, you're not going to be able to see anything. So, or not retweets, but reposts. We haven't figured out the exact lingo that we're going to be using for that, but we're still working on that one. But yeah, so that'll be safe for you.
Now, are you still working on the terms of service for Wandering Icon?
Yeah, we are, just because, I mean, one, we have lawyers and making sure that we're not going to get screwed on stuff. But it's also just kind of like trial and error and saying like the problems that we see with other platforms and making sure that like we have, because it's not just our terms of service, but it's also ways to kind of alleviate certain issues. Like we were talking about, if there's a situation where it's like a certain person or a certain account gets suspended for targeted harassment, or gets suspended for like sending something that was like a horrific tweet to somebody, they can kind of get out of their trouble or their jail or whatever you want to call it by like sending a message to the person that they sent the tweet to or the post to, and basically apologizing for what they did and saying, you know what, I'm sorry about this.
So there's a reconciliation process.
Yeah. And so we want to make sure that like people understand that like, yeah, there's a human being at the other end of this who is reading this. This isn't just like some robot that you're talking to. Like, this is an actual human. And I know that that's not entirely our job to do, but at the end of the day, I do want people to treat each other nicely. And I think that if we can create a situation where, like, because everyone has 3 strikes on the platform. And if you get suspended the first time, it's 1 day. The second time, it's 1 week. The third time, you're basically gone. And I mean, there's a way of going about and saying, no, this isn't what the situation was. Because I mean, I have another friend who her account was suspended over a joke that within our friends group made sense, but looking at the outside looking in, like it looked horrific. But I mean, if you can sit there and say, like, the person who the post was directed at can come back and say, no, I fully understand what they were saying, this was not in any mean way or whatever, then I mean, why should an account be suspended? So I mean, it's just kind of like,
I think it's a great feature. I really do, because like you said, it encourages people to, hey, you know what, do actual interaction. Don't just treat somebody as code on the other end of the line, and you know, don't just assume this idiot's a bot or whatever. And I think that's actually great. It could help put a face on people when you're having those disagreements where, you know what, you spout off and you pop off something retarded behind the keyboard. And yes, I use the word retarded. I don't care. Tangent. The first time I actually heard somebody get upset about using the word retarded was probably, let's say, about 15 years ago already. It was in a chat room for an online school that I was doing, and I was like, "Wait, what? Why? Like, there's people that would be upset by this? Who are you?" So I was witnessing the advent of the SJW revolution back then.
Yeah.
I actually look back now on that whole online school experience. I'm like, wow. I saw so much back then of what's now just everybody sees today. It's already starting to crop up then. It's insane. Anyway, a bit of a tangent. Now, you also mentioned in your proposal and everything from Wandering Icon that a big part of this, it's not just about an answer to social media censorship necessarily. It's also an answer to the fact that, as you put it, pretty much every social media thing you can think of is a one-trick pony. It's got one thing that it does really well, maybe two or three others that it does okay, and then probably two or three more that you'd love to have that it doesn't do at all.
Right.
And I think you said in there, for somebody to actually make a living on social media, they need somewhere between 5 and 11 different accounts. It's insane. And I can relate to that, because just for this, I've got other accounts that I want to set up. I just don't have time for, because I already have a full-time job and kids. I think that is fantastic, that you're actually putting everything you'd want into one little place.
And it's not just a thing of like social media platforms just do one thing. It's, if they do start doing other things, they make a separate app for it, so you have to go make an account for that app. Like, for example, Twitter. But like, for example, with Twitter, you can live stream on Twitter, but for that you need Periscope, and to have a Periscope, you need to have the Periscope app, which you have to sign up for, and it just like, but like, why though?
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, the one thing that I've realized is that a lot of these social media platforms they weren't created because they thought they were going to be multi-million dollar ideas. Like, they were created because, like, Jack and his friends wanted to have a website where they could text each other. That's why Twitter exists. Like, that's literally the reason that it came about. And then other people jumped onto it. And then, like, YouTube started out as just like a video hosting thing. Like, nobody thought when creating YouTube that it would become what it is today, where people are making their livelihoods off of it. And so like, we have a situation here where it's just like, we're in like the 1950s of like the social media world, whatever, where it's like, you have the vacuum store, you have the mattress store, you have, like, I don't know, the random whatever specialty stores, but there's no Costco. And there needs to be a Costco where everything's just in one place, and you can just go in, get everything you need, and go home and relax and bitch about whatever you saw on our platform that day. And so like, and that's the thing that like was kind of frustrating to me. It's just like, okay, like you have a situation where it's like a creator has to have bare minimum in order to be an actual content creator and make an actual living off of this. You have to have a PayPal account, a Patreon account, a YouTube account, a Facebook account, an Instagram account, a Twitter account. If you want to have a Twitch account, if you want to, like, there's so many things that you have to have. And you're looking at this going, okay, if somebody wants to consume everything that you're doing, they want to watch your YouTube videos, they want to look at you on Twitter and interact with you on there, they want to look at your posts on Instagram, like that's a lot in order to absorb all of that content instead of having something in one specific location. And one of the perks that we have with our platform is that you can choose how you want to view it. So if you just want to see text post, you can see it that way. If you want to see just picture posts, you can look at it that way. Just video posts, you can look at it that way. Or you can see a mixture of everything. It really is tailor-made to how you want to view your platform and how you want to view your content. And I think that for me, at least, like that's something that I also kind of would love to have, because there's times where it's like I want to look at somebody's pictures the way that I would on Facebook, but if I click on their media profile or whatever on Twitter, all I'm seeing is their stupid gifs that they've retweeted to everyone.
Geez, yes.
Yeah.
It's like I just want to see their pictures and videos because like I want to see like what they look like or whatever. One of the other things that we are adding onto it is that you can choose who you want to be able to view specific posts. So like right now with Twitter, you have the options of being private, so the people who follow you can see your content, or you can be public and everyone can see it. With our platform, you'll be able to select, I have this group of friends, I want to make a post directed at this group of friends, or this one individual, if you want to be petty enough and subtweet them that way and make sure they see it. But have it be like that. That's something that we're offering people as well, because there's points and times where it's like I want to make a tweet, but I know that certain people are going to come in and say certain things and I don't really want those responses, so I just go screw it, I'm not going to make it right now, whatever. But I think it would be hilarious if I did, and I just don't want to get the creeps in my mentions again. So
yeah. Fortunately, being a guy, I don't get too many creeps in my mentions. There are advantages. I'm not gonna lie. It's my male privilege, and
I don't get any creeps either, though. So it's like I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or what. But it's like
I mean, a lot of it is my fault. I like not even thinking about it, because like I don't think before I tweet. I just tweet things out. And I was just like, I was having a conversation like in a private messaging group that we had, and circumcision came up. And so I was just like, I'm curious. So I made a poll and I was just like, are you circumcised?
Oh, I think I remember when you posted that. Yeah.
Yeah, like the amount of people who were asking me my opinion on their dicks was just next level. I was like, I don't want to give you my opinion. I'm not asking, like, yeah.
That's not why I'm asking. I'm just
like for like 3 days, people were just like, so what do you like? Do you like them circumcised or uncircumcised? I'm just like, I like the person it's attached to. That's what matters to me.
That's the best answer right there. It's like, and no pics, please.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my god. No, I had to like private my messages because like people. Yeah.
Oh boy, I'm sorry. You know, there does seem to be a genuine contingent of freaking weirdos.
You have no idea. like there's certain people.
I get it vicariously from others.
Yeah, like I've gotten like, because like as soon as I privated my messages, like people, and this is the frustrating thing, that's like even if you mute someone, you're still getting their notifications.
Yeah,
and it's like, which is frustrating because I'm like, I don't want to see this person. And it's like people will send me their phone numbers in just a tweet. And I'm like, you're literally just putting your phone number into the entire world and thinking this is okay. Like, and they'll send me like, I don't even want to get into it. Yeah,
That's legitimately stupid.
like, I mean, I've gotten marriage proposals, like legitimate marriage proposals, like
how legitimate it is, but
like, I'll buy you this ring, you can move into my house, like it's weird, and so it's creepy, and like I don't want to be mean to people, so I try to ignore it, and then I just end up blocking them anyways because they just creep me out.
yeah, it's like, thank you for the compliment, I think, but here's your restraining order.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the weirdest I've dealt with was on Instagram. I was getting repeated comments from this one guy saying like talking about like how he loves me and this and that. And I was like, dude, I don't even know you. Like, but
Yeah.
quick more comical question since everyone keeps bringing it up in the chat. The subject of pineapple.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. We do notice that pineapple is in your logo.
Yes.
Yes, I love pineapples.
So
Like,
I'm curious, then, since you say everyone with differing opinions, no matter how weird, like Alex Jones when that is allowed, but are anti-pineapple pizza people allowed on this platform?
they are allowed on this platform.
I mean,
and I'm going to convert them slowly.
Will the pineapple and the non-pineapple people be able to get along?
Well, I think the non-pineapple people might have a slight issue with the fact that, see, pineapple isn't just like our little thing. It's also the currency that users can earn on the platform. So it kind of goes like this. There's there's pineapple chunks, pineapple slices, and then a pineapple pizza. The chunks are 25 cents, the slices are 50 cents, a full pineapple is $1, and a pineapple pizza is $5. So you actually can earn these currencies, or you can actually buy these currencies and send them to other people as gifts, so that they could buy other things on the platform or whatever. So there's green and there's yellow pineapples. And so through that, I'm going to convert the entire world into pineapple loving people.
So, I'm going to want you to explain the currency aspect of this a little bit more in just a minute. But so based on that, I'm curious, what was the primary motivator for starting Wandering Icon? Was it the social media censorship? Was it the holy crap, people shouldn't need to have this many accounts? Or was it the desire to convert everybody to liking pineapple pizza? Which one was like the primary?
The primary was I got the idea when certain people, I don't even remember who it was, but somebody really big got kicked off of Patreon in
Was it Lauren?
December. Who?
Lauren Southern? She was like the first big name to get kicked off, I think.
It was after that. It happened in December. I think it was Sargon who got kicked off.
Yeah, that was huge, which actually gets us into other aspects I want to bring up. But go ahead.
So when Sargon got kicked off, and I kind of like was just looking at Patreon, and I was looking at like their entire setup, looking at how much money had been invested into it, and going, this is not a sustainable model. There's no way it's going to survive. Because I think that they have well over $100 million invested into it. And mind you, like, I'm currently building a platform. I know how much this stuff costs. It doesn't cost $100 million to do. Like, it just doesn't. Like, that's the bottom line. But when that happened, I was just kind of looking at it and going, okay, there's Twitter, which is where the community's at, and then there's Patreon, where people are putting money into. Why not combine those two and create something new and not censor people on it? Like, that was the initial idea. And then it just kind of blossomed from there. And then when we had the Great Pineapple War of 2019, I decided to use pineapple and convert the entire world into pineapple loving people because it's an amazing fruit. And
so out there, red is seething right now.
I know. When I told her that it was going to be pineapple, she's just like, but why? Why does it have to be pineapple?
shout out to Stan in the live chat. He's saying the same thing. Why?
Yeah, I love pineapple though. It's literally like I can eat pineapple on anything. I'm not even joking. Like I will grill it. I will just eat it raw. I chop. You have no idea. I
Pineapple
love
is tasty, like legitimately tasty. It really
it.
is. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird on the pizza, but I'm not against it. It's not like I've never said, "Hey, you know what I need to order right now? Pineapple pizza." I've never said that, but I've never said it's pineapple pizza and there's the only pizza here, and I'm definitely not eating it. I've also never said that.
I'm one who would want to order pineapple pizza, though slight aside on the whole pineapple pizza topic. I have noticed there seems to be a correlation between people who don't like pineapple pizza and people who don't like barbecue pizza, because barbecue pizza tends to have a sweetness to it. So I think it's the combination of sweet and savory people like.
Yeah.
Now, since you brought up Sargon, and this was something I was thinking about at the beginning of the broadcast here, is one of the things that came to light during the whole Sargon episode was that like PayPal and MasterCard were pressuring Patreon and even Subscribestar behind the scenes to say, you know, if you're working with them, we're not working with you. So how on earth is Wandering Icon going to deal with that, since these are the guys that exchange the money on the interwebs?
Right. So we are currently going to be working with a payment processor that we're not talking openly about at this moment.
Fair enough. Okay, good.
So, and I mean, like, it's kind of a roundabout way of going about things to make sure that we can't get screwed. Because, I mean, like, at the end of the day, we're trying to figure out all of the ways that people are attacking these social media platforms, and we're going, cool. So payment processing is an issue. Let's figure that out. Let's figure out a way that can kind of bypass all of these issues. And I think that we kind of have that figured out. The other issue is servers and hosting servers, which do you guys know what a decentralized platform is versus a centralized platform?
I don't.
Let's pretend we don't.
And okay. So a centralized platform is a platform that is like Twitter. You upload your content to their servers, they host them. It's not technically Twitter servers. It's usually like Microsoft or Amazon or other things like that basically host everything. Okay. A decentralized platform is kind of like LimeWire back in the day, where you used to pirate movies and whatever else. Every computer was a server. They hosted the content. You could download it from one thing to another thing or whatever else, or watch it off of that person's computer if you wanted to. This will allow, our platform will allow for a mixture of both. So content creators who want to host their own content and have their own servers are going to be able to do that. But because about 60 to 70% of users are mobile users, and I mean, honestly, if you have a picture, you're not going to keep it on your phone for 20 years. It's just not going to happen. Right. So we're going to have our own servers, and we're going to have our own servers. So we're not going to be using Amazon. We're not going to be using Microsoft, because we don't trust them at the end of the day. Like, we're keeping safe the content and the information from our users, because it's not just their names, it's also their credit card information and everything else like that. And having our own servers makes sense for us, but also allowing for creators to host their own content and get a discount by doing that. So instead of us taking like 5 to 10% of whatever they're going to be selling, we take like 1 to 2% in exchange for actually just hosting the platform and whatever.
So you've really thought about all the different angles of this. How long have you been working on this project? I'm curious.
December. So about 6 months.
So you've actually figured all of this out in about 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I mean, like,
I mean, that's impressive given the number of hurdles that there are to work around. And I'm actually gonna I'm gonna wait till we're off air, but I'm gonna ask about maybe a couple of the people that I suspect you might be working with.
I mean, honestly, I'm working with 3 people right now.
Okay.
On this whole thing. A couple of them, well, I'm working with like another company that's helping us build it, and then a couple
Right.
other people who are contributing to that. But the company is based in India that's helping us build it. And then other than like the guy who's helping me with like the merchandising and everything, that's pretty much it. Well, I have a lawyer too, but other than that, that's pretty much it.
So you've got a small, tight knit team there.
Yeah, very
Okay.
small. We need to expand it. Like desperately, which is kind of why we put up the Indiegogo campaign, because right now, I mean, obviously, like this stuff, I've already put about $7,000 of my own money into this thing and building it out. And I mean, like, which seems like a lot of money, but in reality, like, that's not a lot of money. We
compared to 100 million. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Our total budget is significantly bigger, but I mean, a large part of that total budget is just convincing creators and going, hey, look, we're going to give you like 50 grand. Come over to our platform, make original content, and that's a huge aspect of it. And the servers in that is like
Right. Yeah. That stuff doesn't come cheap, especially since, yeah, like you said, you're using your own. You're not renting space with, with someone else. So, yeah, that's huge, and I imagine it's going to be a few years before you expect to actually be in the black.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it really kind of depends on kind of how everything goes. And I mean, we have the projections on certain things because it's hard to like say this is what's going to happen because there hasn't been a platform like this that's existed.
No, this is definitely something new, and yeah, I do think though, Cyn, that if it comes out as good as if it comes out as good as you lay it out, I think it's going to be pretty awesome. Now, you mentioned about expanding. So what kind of talent are you looking for out there to expand?
Right now, we're looking for programmers. Like that's really kind of what we're looking for.
Learn to code.
Yeah, exactly. Which you will not be banned for on our platform because
Amen.
That's a stupid thing to get banned for. Like there's so many different things that we want to add that's going to help creators create and just help users just have fun and kind of like customize like the way that they want to view things. And a lot of it comes down to like even when it comes to the currency, figuring out how much currency each person's going to use based on their engagement on the platform, because that's how they earn it. Everyone who has a platform or who has a profile on our platform who's not a creator, creators cannot earn currency, but users can. And we have to make sure that the bots are not getting all the currency because there's going to be a selective amount of things. So we need to make sure that like if you're getting a bunch of likes, if you're getting a bunch of views and you're getting whatever, like obviously like the more followers you have, the more likes you're going to get and so on and so forth. But really kind of like figuring out that algorithm, because I mean, again, when it comes to the currency, we wanted to put this in there so that people, because there are going to be people who can't afford to buy Cernovich's documentary that he just put out.
Right.
And really kind of like the reason why we added the video aspect where you can buy videos directly from a creator's profile is because of that documentary when it came out. And I'm like, wouldn't it be great if Cernovich could just sell this movie directly from his Twitter account?
That
like,
would be wonderful.
And because like I work in the world of marketing and I understand how marketing works, 60% of people who are interested in purchasing something, even if they see the link, they're not going to click on it because it's going to take them off platform. They have to input all the information onto this other website, whatever, and they don't want to deal with the hassle of it, so they don't. On our platform, it would be 2 clicks and they're watching the movie. And they can even like drag it down into the corner of the screen so they can watch it there as they're doing whatever else on the platform. Because that's what I do with YouTube on my phone. And I love doing that. So I wanted to incorporate that. But yeah, so what we need most is programmers, desperately bad, but we also need money to pay programmers because programmers are not cheap.
No, I would imagine not.
Yeah,
Especially programmers to do what you need them to do.
exactly.
Now you've touched on the commerce a couple of times. Now, is this going to be like equatable with actual money, or is it going to be something that you can spend in the various stores? How is that? What is the currency actually used for?
Okay, so the currency, again, there's two different types of currencies. There's yellow pineapples and there's green pineapples. The green pineapples you can gift people. You can, if you really like somebody's tweet or their post or whatever, you can kind of give them a little extra thing up there. You can send them like a private message or whatever, and you can do all of that via the currency. The yellow pineapples are currency that people earn.
Okay.
And that, when it is spent on the platform, a post will go out to all of that person's followers. So obviously, the more currency that you obviously have more followers on your platform or on your profile. But when you purchase like a movie or whatever, a post will go up that cannot be deleted for 24 hours saying so-and-so purchased this, and then it's going to have like a preview for a movie or like an audio book or something like that. And so it's kind of like marketing it in exchange for that good, and having other people see it. And so, and then kind of with that going into the marketing aspect of it, like I said earlier, nobody's going to be able to market on our platform unless they have something for sale on our platform. So you can promote something, but it's not going to take you off the platform. You can't promote like your own blog unless it's a blog that's on our platform.
Okay.
Like, and we wanted to do that to make sure that, like, again, like if nobody can go after Pepsi, because like unless Pepsi's selling something on our platform, they're not marketing on our platform. Like that's just the way that it works. And we wanted to make sure that majority of our like cash flow that's coming in is coming in from people who are actually absorbing and using the content that's on our platform. So yeah, that's an important aspect of it.
So those yellow pineapples, is that something you earn? Is that something you can earn, or is that something you like? You mentioned you can buy it as well.
Yeah, so you can buy them, but you're buying the green ones and you earn the yellow ones. And so
okay.
You just basically earn those through like, as long as you're like on the platform, you're engaging with people, you're part of the conversation, and people are like responding to you, whatever else. And there's going to be like other things where it's like if you have your own individual profile picture, the longer you've been on the platform, the more that you're going to be able to earn of the percentage and so on and so forth. It just kind of makes sense to us to kind of do it that way. Obviously, like you're going to have people who are going to get like content creators, and the reason why that they're not eligible to earn currency is because people are most likely coming to the platform to engage with them. So their engagement is already going to be out of the roof anyway. So it doesn't really make sense to include them in that because they're the ones that are going to be like kind of selling stuff anyways. So
okay. Okay, good. So so that's just another aspect of what you've got figured out. You can basically just by being on the platform, you can earn money to spend on the platform.
Right.
Which is really cool. It's like you said, it's for people that have a hard time affording some of the stuff, generally speaking. And then, so in return, they go, hey, I'm going to buy, since you mentioned it, Cernovich's documentary for, I don't know, 20 yellow pineapples. And then, now is he going to would he get reimbursed for like actual money, or is it just the marketing is the
that would be just kind of marketing his documentary or whatever. And so because we know that like he can set the price for whatever he wants it to be in exchange for that marketing. So if he wants to put it at like 5 pineapples, whatever else, he can basically set it and be like, this is what it's worth to me to have it tweeted out to this, or to have it posted out to this many people. And a lot of it is giving creators the control over that aspect of it, because we're not the ones who are going to be setting the price for anything. We're just the ones who are offering the platform, offering the suggestions of certain things. Creators do what they want at that point, and it's kind of out of our hands. So Yeah.
Cool. I love it. I'm actually I'm all in on this. So so
Get it up and running. Like that's
right.
the scary part.
So basically when you do get this up and running, we can go and we can have Fighting the Void t-shirts with this great design that Blindfold Bethany made up for us. And we could have t-shirts and mugs and everything for sale on there. Now, actually this I just talked myself into another question. Is that something where, okay, would, if we've got, a t-shirt store, is that something where, we're the ones like selling the t-shirts and everything, or you guys have like contracting with an on-demand service? How would that work?
So right initially when we launch it,
Mhm.
we are going to be creating all of the merchandise that we're going to be selling.
Okay.
Once we kind of do it for a couple of months and kind of continuing it on from there, we eventually want to get to the point where creators who are creating like soaps or their own merchandise or whatever they're creating or whatever they're selling can sell them directly from their platform. And they can ship them out or they can house them in our own warehouses that we're going to be building up.
Okay.
And so that's much later on because that's costing a lot more money to do. But initially, it's going to be us doing it, and then we're going to kind of fold into like the stages. I think we have 4 stages that we're going to be doing, and the 4th stage is basically allowing for people to sell whatever like they would normally sell on even like Etsy, and just selling it directly to their base. Because for me and working in marketing and understanding the way that marketing works, people don't want to go to 20 different websites to figure everything out.
Yep.
And if, I don't know, let's just say that like you really love a certain band. I can't think of anything right now that's coming to my mind. I don't know what's the name of a band.
AC/DC.
There you go, AC/DC. You love AC/DC, you want to buy their album at the same time as buying a shirt that they have, plus they have a vinyl thing that you want to buy. You can buy all of that in one location and not have to go to like a million different places. Because part of the issue is that like even when you go onto Amazon, like I've tried, like I'm a massive Arsenal fan, which is this like football team in Europe or in London, which I'm obsessed with. But I bought a jersey on Amazon and I didn't think anything of it and it never showed up. And I was just like, what's going on with this?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't actually from Arsenal. I thought that it was. And every time I tried to leave a comment, my comment ended up getting deleted. It was this whole fiasco. I never got my $100 back and it sucked. But like it's those kind of things where it's like you would be able to, like Arsenal would have their own profile on our website and all of their jerseys and all of their kits, and you could buy tickets off of there, like everything that you can imagine, but at the same time still being able to tweet at, I don't know, Trump and tell him whatever you feel at that point. Like that's kind of like the point of this. It's social media mixed with commerce. It's Amazon mixed with Twitter. That's what it is. So yeah, eventually we want to get to that.
Sounds great. And Dan brought up another question in the live chat. He said, I'm sorry if I missed this, but is there a Patreon type service in the cards down the road? I know creators that love Patreon but loved that platform. I know the genesis of this was because of some bands. And I think if I remember correctly from the points that you sent to us before the show, there will be something where you can send, and you kind of touched upon this earlier too when talking about the different levels of pineapple. So how would that aspect of the platform work?
Yeah, so there is so basically if you're looking at the profile, on the left of the profile will be the store for creators where they can sell merchandise or whatever else. On the right side will be their Patreon-esque type of subscription. And they can set it so that anyone, like if you want to do like $25 a month, they get one of the merchandise, one of this, one of that, whatever, and access to all of your videos that are on the platform, then you can set it up to be that way. And because everything's all included, you as a creator don't have to be the one that's like making sure that the orders are fulfilled. Because right now with Patreon, if you're including merchandise with your subscribers, whatever that's on there, you actually have to go and fulfill those orders every single month because it's not all connected and it's not all included with it. And because of that, a lot of creators don't send out the merchandise that they're supposed to, and it never gets there. And so, I mean, subscribers kind of get irritated with that. So this is kind of alleviating that pressure from the creators that they no longer have to do that. They just have to click, this is what's included. This is what I have for sale on my platform. This is what I'm including for this monthly donation. And then it'll get fulfilled for them and they don't have to worry about it. They can just create their content.
That is another thing that I know I would like, because I get, especially for guys who don't get into this when they're in their 20s and single and don't have kids and everything. Yeah, there isn't time to do all those 5,000 different things. And so yeah, I will definitely be one of the people that appreciates that. And
Awesome.
in fact, I dare say when you do launch this thing, we'll probably sign up, because it sounds like it checks all the boxes of what I've been looking for as a solution to being able to manage all the different things I'd love to have the time to manage. But yeah. I just don't.
Exactly. I mean, I've worked with a lot of creators in the past, and I've seen a lot of the struggles that they've kind of gone through.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, like, I've worked in the film industry for like nearly a decade, and yeah, it sucks. It sounds way more cool than it really is. Trust me, it sucks so bad. But like mix that with like, and knowing a lot of content creators and knowing a lot of influencers, and then working in marketing as well and owning a marketing company, like putting those into one central location and understanding like the trials that like independent filmmakers have to go through to get their film produced. Because I mean, you can even like on our platform, you would be able to shoot a mini series or even a continuous series, and people could subscribe to it and help it continue forward, and basically pay, I don't know, like $5 a month or even like $1 an episode or something like that. And then creators can just make something and they don't need to have a distributor. Because right now, if you were to make an independent film for like, I don't know, $100,000, you're never going to receive a return on that. You're lucky if a distributor picks that up. But on here, you would be able to market it. You would be able to sell it. You would be able to do everything that you need to do on that and completely 100% circumvent the Netflix, all of that stuff. Because on YouTube, there's no way of actually privating something so that you can actually sell it. On Vimeo, there's no way of marketing something like that. But if you have a following, and even like one of the things that we have specifically is that, and we wanted to make sure that we could include this, is let's say there's 10 actors in a movie. Every single one of those actors can have this video attached to their profile. So like anyone who goes onto their profile would be able to purchase it, but we would have the funds be funneled to wherever they're supposed to be going to. And so that was one of the things that we wanted to make sure we could incorporate as well. This is literally just a platform to help people scream, rant, and rave about whatever politics they want to complain about, and then be able to sell their stuff, whatever it may be, from an audio book to a digital book to an actual book, a movie, a podcast, whatever it is, you can do that on the platform.
Awesome. And honestly, I think that's a great way to pretty much wrap things up, Cyn, because we are pretty much up here on the hour. So before we go, I need to ask, do you have a timetable when you plan on launching this?
I am hoping to God we can launch it in September. It really depends on how good the Indiegogo campaign goes. The better that does, the quicker we can launch this thing, because it takes money to make this. And I mean, we are looking for a lot of creators. If they want to sit down with us, talk with us, do whatever, kind of figure out exactly what we're doing. If they have any questions, they can 100% just message us and just kind of see what they can do, because creators are what's going to make this platform a great place for everyone.
And when it comes to getting hold of you, finding your Indiegogo campaign, where can people find you out there on the interwebs? Not in real life. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah,
it ain't right.
No. Yeah, so my Twitter account is probably the best place, which is at Cyn Champlin. And that's it.
All right. Well, people, go find her there. Go find her Indiegogo for Wandering Icon. Donate, sign up when it comes out, and spread the word, because this sounds like it hits all the points that myself and I think a lot of other creators have been looking for. It answers the social media censorship questions. It answers the payment processors questions. It answers the what if they pull the servers question. It will streamline the whole e-commerce thing to something that most people can actually manage without pulling their freaking hair out, assuming everything works well. So to that end, programmers, go help Cyn out. All right. So with that, I will thank everybody for tuning in. And Cyn, thanks a lot for coming on the show and sharing this with us. And we will have to have you on another time, especially as you get closer to launch.
Yes.
And maybe to discuss other things too, because hey, we all spend time on Twitter and we all like to rant and rave about politics and things, right?
That's absolutely true.
All right. Well, until next time, everybody take it easy out there on the interwebs. Don't get banned unless it's worth it. And just make the tweet worth it. That's all I'm saying. Try not to be dicks out there. And until next time, keep fighting the good fight.